WordNerds. So sometimes when we get a new shiny idea, it can be really easy to rush ahead and get really excited about it and keep up momentum, at least for the first little while. But a time comes when the shiny kind of wears off, your shiny new idea, and it can be hard to keep up momentum. There are a couple different ways that I find really helpful for when I'm starting to drag my feet a little bit, when the idea maybe isn't as new as shiny as it used to be. I'm not as excited anymore. And one of the big ways is word count. For me, I try to write 2,000 words a day. It's something that it's a concrete goal that I can aim for. And it really helps to be able to have something to keep an eye on. Like I keep my eye on that word count bar at the bottom that tells me exactly how many more words I need to go. I usually have the scene written out so everything's clear and I can just sit down and go. So that really helps me. But maybe you aren't someone who's driven by word count, and that's totally fine too. It could be that you need to do 3 pages a day. You could try to get a chapter done, a scene done, whatever it is going to be at the end of the day that makes you feel like, hey, I did great today. I finished such and such goal and I got where I wanted to be. And it doesn't need to be any more than 500 words, say, or even a few sentences. If your life is crazy and you don't have time for anything else right now, getting a couple sentences down on the page can feel like a major victory. A couple sentences a day or half a page a day is what I call micro writing. If you have a notebook and you can just jot it down, if you've got a spare 15 minutes, it's still progress. Lately, I've been using something called the Pomodoro Technique, which Kelly has talked about before, I believe, on this channel. Basically, the app I've downloaded gives you 25 minutes of working with a timer ticking in the background, and then a 5-minute break to get up and stretch your legs and get a drink of water or what else you need to do. And I find it really helps because specifically having the ticking sound of the timer counting down on my phone helps my brain sort of focus, because I know I cannot check Twitter, I cannot check my email, I've got 25 minutes and the timer is running down. And so this really actually helps me concentrate and I get a lot more work done than I ever have before. Again, this might not be a technique that works for you, but it works for me really well. Being open to trying out new ways of keeping your productivity on track, I think, is great. Some of the things will work for you and some of the things won't, and you might find one that you really like and that helps you be really productive. I also really recommend keeping a writing journal and journaling at the end of every day, especially if you're the type of writer that doesn't do word count. Maybe you just do a scene, maybe you write half a page, maybe you even didn't get any word count done today, but you thought out the solution to a problem that's been bugging you in your manuscript. That's still progress. And being able to write it down in your journal and saying, hey, I got this done today, I find really helpful. So that's something else I do, is even if I didn't get my 2,000 words today, or I didn't do 25-minute intervals of work, I can write in my journal and say, hey, I figured out this plot problem, and still end up, feeling pretty good about myself at the end of the day. And I think that's hugely important, is not beating yourself up and feeling good about your forward progress. It helps me keep accountable too, because I know I want to write something in that journal at the end of the day and not just say, well, I didn't really get anything done. I just watched Netflix all day. So having that writing journal to go to is a little bit like having somebody that you're accountable to, even though it's just yourself. What about you guys? Do you have anything to keep your forward momentum going and to keep yourself motivated? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget, 7:30 Eastern Standard Time is our live chat on Sundays, and we would love to see you there. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week.